Parashas Chayei talks about Avram Avinu looking for shidduch for his son Yitzchak. And the Torah says as follows: Vayomer Avram el Avdo Izekan Beiso Yamoish B'chol Asher Loi. Avram Avinu told the slave, the elder of his house, one who controls the house, his manager, Sim no yod chotar aserechi, put your hands onto my yerech with his bris milah chefetz of kedusha, v'ashbiacho b'Hashem Eloi ki hashamayim Eloi ki haaretz. Take an oath in God, the God of heaven and earth. What does he say? What's the oath is about? Asher lo tikach ish olivni. Don't take a wife to my son, from the children, the daughters of the Canaanites. Why? Because Canaan is zera mekulo. When a woman is bad, she pulls the husband in her ways. We see from Adam and Chava. Adam failed, she pulled Adam. Chava failed with the snake, she pulled Adam. Shlomo HaMelech, he married Noshim Nochrios, Ammonios, Moavios, Sidonios, Chittios. And the Torah says, the Novi says, Noshov Itu Es Levovoi. His wife tilted his heart the wrong way. Comes Rabbeinu Bechaya and he says, there's a custom by the Jewish people, when a chosen gets married, there's a minhag to read this parasha to the chosen on the day of his wedding. The custom is to read this parasha to a chosen the day he gets married. This story of Chayei, the parasha of looking for a shidduch for
the Father of God used to do it.
Yes, that was the custom. Why? To remind the people, don't get a woman, don't take a woman for beauty. As the Torah says, Sheker, the Novi says, Mishlei Lamed Aleph, Sheker Achen Be'evel HaYoifi. Lie is the grace and vanity is the beauty. Ve'lo l'shem mamon, and do not take a woman for the sake of dineros, money. Why? Because, very simple reason. The Mishnah says, Asoya aselo knafayim. Money will create wings. Kenesher yahuf hashamayim, like wings that will fly to heaven. Right before I came to this class, I had a case where a woman inherited a lot of money and the husband is suffering because the woman created wings and she flew to heaven. Means she's now on her own. She's on her own. On her own.
When you say that she flew to heaven, means she
Just
could do whatever she wants.
Poetic words. Means she does what she wants,
yeah,
without asking the husband, not bending to the husband anymore. And the relation was ruined. And the person should not marry a woman for the familia, what is a mafia, strong rulers. Because then would fall with all those things. the wrong things. Rather, a person should look for a woman, l'shem shamayim. What does Shem Shamayim means? That by connecting to this woman, that she comes from a good familia, a good family, so what will happen to his children? And this is the language of Rabbeinu Bechaya. Lefi sha'abonim nimshochim b'midoiseim b'teva, the children being pulled in the nature, in the characters being pulled by nature, achar mishpachas ha'ein, after the family of the mother. The children have the midos of the wife. Gemara Basra Daf Kuf Yud. Like the nature of wine that gets the taste from the vessel that he stays there a long time, which means the baby, the seed, stayed in the mother for a long time, starts seeking the midos of the family of the wife. And more of that, the Gemara says, Ashrei anoisa beniroi. Happy is the person that marries a woman from his own town. A town boy, a town girl. Why? Because they have the same ideas, same values, and you save a lot of problems with the children training the kids. It says by Amram, the father of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, it says, Vayelech ish mi beis Levi, vayikach es bas Levi. From the house of Levi, he took the daughter of Levi. So the Rabbeinu Bechaya says, this is language. When people get married together in the same type, Asholoi Miskay, and the peace is being established. Umisra b'oilom, it gets multiply big, it gets expand in the world, the peace. If a person marries a girl much less than him, then he says, his heart will be tough on her, feels who she is. Will feel disgrace with this woman. Disgrace. Put down. She's down in his eyes. And if he marries a girl that she's bravin, the language of the Rabbeinu Bechaya, Kol Yomeyeh Biktoto Merivo. All their life is fights. Fighting and arguing. The Gemara in Psochim Daf Memtes says, when you have two families which are equal, same idea, what happens? It's in va'gefen, bein va'gefen dover no miskab. What does that mean? Well, actually, when there's weddings, engagement, we sing that song, this puzzle. When you have one of the sides are proper and the other one is not, it's like putting gefen with sneh, which is gefen with thorns. Dover kol eno miskabel doesn't receive it. Even though grapes, the tree of grapes is the best tree that you can breed anything with it. The grapes are the most breeding type of tree that can be breeded with any type of things. Kilaim. By the way, kilaim midorais is only with grapes. And therefore he says, a person, kilas roy. Kilas 18 is not midorais. And therefore he says, a man is proper to marry a woman, L'Shem Shamayim. The good ones will marry the good ones, and not the bad ones, because the good ones cannot marry the bad, because they look bad on them. They're not the bad, and they're not going the right way. The bad one don't want the good ones, or if they do, there's always fights. Therefore, in order to be Shalom al Yisrael, should be married your type. This is Rabbeinu Mechai, very famous. That a man should marry, the Gemara says, Ashrei anoisa ben iroi. Happy is the person that marries a daughter from his own town. Means this type. A lot of people come and ask me, listen, I come from America, from Canada, from England, who knows what, I come to Israel. I should marry an Israeli. I should marry a Sephardi girl. I should marry this type, that type. I said, listen, you can marry anything you want. But depends on you, midos. Ashrei anoisa ben iroi. Means you want to marry them, you have to decide to work on your midos very hard. And if you work on your midos, great. Marry her. And not only that, if you work on your midos, you're going to have the best children. So you work on your midos. But if you want to think the fact you just get married, everything's just going to go the way, same way you're going now, is my advice to marry your type. She says, okay, I'm a Canadian, can marry American? Oh, it's half your type. If you're American, you can marry English, it's half your type. Can you marry French? It's not your type. Marry Israeli, it's not your type. What does that mean? It means that you have to work on your midos extra in order to have shalom bayis. And don't think that just going to happen and you're going to overcome those problems. It doesn't mean that those type of marriages don't work, or they do work. But you have to work extra hard on it. Extra hard. To work on your midos. The Bisor Salanta says it's easier to learn the whole Shas, to change one midah, one character of a person. I always bring a proof. You meet your friend after 20 years. You didn't see him for 20 years. Right? You're going to say, oh, he's the same guy. He talks the same, moves the same. Wow, he's the same. You see his son. He's the same. Same guy. Copy of his father, the way he laughed, the way he moved. Anger. Quick to, those midos don't change. The midos are the same. Very hard to change the midos. The Torah is teaching us. Ma'isa always similar body. The Torah is teaching us a lesson in shidduchim. There's no favor in shidduchim. Right before I came here, at another case, they asked me is right or wrong. It was this yeshiva bacher that he worked somewhere. I'm not going to go into details. And it was the father of the owner of the business had a daughter, and the daughter had a friend, and they got together, got engaged yeshiva bacher. He worked for extra few pennies to work there. The mice was they're getting married. And the mother came to complain, and they asked me what's the right answer. What was the complaint? That she sees this marriage will go kaput. She should stop it or not. But on the other hand, she's pregnant from him.
She's what?
Pregnant from him. So the question was, let this guy, and she wants him, obviously she's pregnant, let this guy do a tikkun to what he did and not just throw her out? Or no? What's the right answer? Or no? Why are you going to a marriage that already starts with problems? That was a question. Right before I came here. I didn't give an answer. I said I have to think about it. I see a svara, they cannot throw it out because you did my. I said, no, she'll do it because who was a whole story, it's not important. When I was learning to Dayanus, was a big discussion between the Supreme Court in Eretz Yisrael. Supreme Court, the Rabbanut has a court, and there's a Supreme Court in Yerushalayim. Beis Din HaGodol Yerushalayim. And one of my rabbis, Rabbi Avraham Sherman, he was the head of the Beis Din, and it was a big discussion. If you have young boy and girl that go out with each other and do the wrong things, we should get them married or should break the marriage. we should permit early marriage or break the marriage. And Rabbi Avraham Shema said, no. Adarabah, break the marriage. Because if you let them marry, you bring more problems. Have kids, and then it will break because they didn't change the midos. Which means you have to know that the midos are the same or around the same, or they're willing to work on themselves. And by thinking, I'm going to save the marriage means I'm going to save them from not doing sins. Stupid. You said not doing sin, but you're bringing more problems. Having children, family, it's worse. Afterwards, to get divorced is 50 times worse. You have kids suffer, one without a father, without a mother. You're bringing more trouble. What do you mean with that? Well, I have to do affairs. So Rabbi Avraham Shema says, yes. Don't get involved and don't allow it to be married. That was a big discussion. The lower basis said no, there was a big fight. I was there with the rabbis taking sides. It's all a long story. But they decided, and the Rabbanut came out with a decision that no, break the marriage. Don't allow early marriage in such a case. That was the story. Marriage you have to prepare yourself. My brother should live longer, but Yosef, when he was the Mashgiach, he and by the Israelis, his theory was, I put guys, 3, 4, 5 guys in one room. And people complain, listen, I don't want this guy, I want alone, I want less guys in the room. He said, stupid. I'm preparing you to be married. When you live in a dormitory, you learn how to live with other people. You learn how to share. You learn how to encompass other personalities. I'm preparing you. You don't listen, okay. But I'm telling you, don't think in such a way you get married so quickly. And if you would get married, you have to be very worried that this marriage will stick. And it's proven in the yeshiva. All those guys that stayed in the yeshiva, in dormitories with other guys, or other 3, 4, 5 guys in the room, and in the apartment, wherever it is, shared and were nice with others, the marriage stuck. And those that, I'm going to work, my father has money, I'm going to work on my own apartment, and my own this, and own that, good. You have your own. I want to tell you a story. I had a nephew. That got married. I have a nephew that got married. And a week after the marriage, she's a Beis Yaakov, good girl, the best of the best. A week after the marriage, they came to the father, the counselor of marriage of the boy, called the father and mother, which were my family. And he said, listen, what we're going to do? They don't want a divorce, but something is wrong. What happened? They rented an apartment, and they had a room and a half, a sleeping room, and then a small little place with a who knows what to sit, and a dining room. Really, there's only 2 rooms. And they had a beautiful, big closet and 2 beds, Jewish bed. And what happened? They say, your daughter, she filled up the entire big wall of closet. She filled it up with all her clothes, and she left her husband just one shelf. What's wrong with this girl? What's going on? So the father said, you're right, 100% right, because my daughter's the only daughter. I only have one daughter. So in her home, she never shared a room with somebody else. When she got married, what she said, she just sees her room, her closet. She never had in her mind that her husband needs to have the closet, or at least a couple of, not the whole thing. It's very serious. This is what I'm saying. It's a true story, very serious story. When you're in yeshiva, you're not just learning Torah. You're learning how to fix your midos. We have Musa Shmusim. Talk about it not to control your anger, your gaiva, your desire for money. desire to put down somebody else, speak Lashon Hara. And one of the most fundamental things you learn in reality is when you live in dorms, is to share what you have with others and be happy. You see a lot of guys which have a little bit more money than others, they always come with a nice piece of falafel or shawarma, and they run to the side team and always should ask them, can we share your food? Who knows what? All those midos, just as an example, and many others. And you see those midos are there. And he's not going to learn to change. If the boy is not going to learn to change those midos, it will be very, very hard for him to be married. The Torah is Torah's chesed. It teaches us how to live with chesed, how to have a marriage, proper marriage. And this proper marriage of sharing, of chesed, like what she did, she said, oh, which type of son, a woman I'm going to look for Yitzchak? A woman that shares, I'll give you to drink, and your animals to drink, and here's my house, share with others. What about Yitzchak? Okay. She learned how to share. What about Yitzchak? What did he learn how to share? He gave his life. Did he learn how to share? He had a brother, Ishmael, 13 years older than him. Did he learn how to share? Just doesn't happen. You get married. Okay, so the Torah is teaching us that Avraham Avinu had chesed, and he ingrained into himself a nefesh osu b'choron, and he shared. And Chazal says, Yaakov be'eretz megure oriv, be'meguyor oriv, that also Yitzchak extended his goodness, and he converted many other people, which means he did a lot of chesed to others. He learned from his father. He was a big Baal chesed. So you have to have a wife on chesed. Otherwise it will be a big damage. Am Yisrael is not going to be able to come out of that. So what I expect from the boys in the yeshiva to learn from this is it's not just going to happen. You have to be with consciousness to work on your midah of sharing and giving. In the yeshiva you have opportunity. Yeshiva is dormitory. Yeshiva is a dining room. This bathroom with many others. Clean after yourself. Keep it for others. Whatever it is. Clean the books. You took out a book, put it back. What about your friend? He wants to do. He's going to have to look for a long time. Etc. etc. All those things, you have to be aware and think about it and do it as avodas Hashem. And just, it's not a mikre. What can I do? The only way to be in yeshiva, I have to be in dormitories, but my main thing is learning Torah. No. Learning Torah and learning to fix your midos is combined together. That's what the Torah is teaching us. It's not just Moshe Rabbeinu with the Torah. The Torah is before Moshe Rabbeinu. The Torah is chesed. It teaches us how to do chesed. The Torah teaches us chesed, but it also teaches us in reality how our forefathers did chesed. And how if we learn from that, yes, Rabbi.
I was wondering in the case that you're going to the girl with the closet, shouldn't the boy be able to realize that the girl came from a family she's well alone?
He couldn't happen. Sometimes at 20 years old.
Couldn't he think to himself, okay,
very good point.
Very important to her. I'll get aside, Aaron, a little thing. When I'll put my stuff in the hanger, I'll put my stuff.
But he was so emotional.
That'll be it.
You're right. He was so emotional. He couldn't think the answer. And the father had to tell him. The father of the girl, which looks good about his daughter, he had to tell him that it didn't come with a bad intention. It came with, that's her, the way she grew. And it took a long time to have to go to therapy, whatever it is, to have to go, that she had to go, not him. How to learn how to share, because she never learned how to share. This is a big opportunity the yeshiva is giving you. To live in a dormitory, to live with others, to eat with others, to learn Torah with others, to share books with others, to share idea with others, hearing somebody else to say, wait quiet till he finishes, to answer his question, give an answer, not to jump, to this, give honor and cover. All those things are the most fundamental things, not only for getting married, to become Odom HaSholem, and that's the goal of marriage. Goal of marriage, not necessarily to bring children, the children have good midos, it's all for yourself. A person already married all of his kids. Why has to say marriage? Somebody asked me the other day. I already married all of my kids.
The Rebbe said,
yes, it's to fix your midos. That's the ikar tachlis of man, and a woman will fix your midos. And also, Koras HaToy, he said. This is what he said.
he asked Rav Zimmer if he could divorce the Rebbe and get a new wife.
Yeah, what he said?
Rav Zimmer said, no, she did so much good for you.
That's Koras HaToy. Yes, Koras HaToy. That's what he said. Koras HaToy. There's no havamim like that, but he wanted to ask the concept. But the point is, he said, it's a Koras HaToy, but also it's not only that, they're there to fix your children. They're there to fix your character. Fix your character. That's what it is. Hashem should give us the bracha to change our midos and to be work on ourselves to become Odom HaSholem.